Hiya, and welcome back to Dawn Chorus, the game that teaches us that it's actually Dan Chorus. Anyways, let's just hop right in. We both hesitate, struggling against the ropes that keep us at bay. With each of our mingling breaths, they snap one by one until our lips finally join. We both hesitate, struggling against the ropes that keep us at bay. With each of our mingling breaths, they snap, one by one, until our lips finally join. He tastes sweet. Sweet like the tea we're drinking, sweet like the sun, sweet like honey. With a tiny hint of artificial banana from the hookah smoke. He's a good, gentle kisser. He's a good, gentle kisser. He's holding back and giving me space, enough that the initiative between us keeps in balance. And with every of our heartbeats, the world around us matters less. Back. Back through the forest. Back to the magical stretch between the trees, the flat patch on the light slope of the hill. Back to the guest house. It's an incredible place. It's an incredible place. It feels entirely non-commercial. As if it wasn't a privately owned guest house, but a breathing, living space. As if we were outside of time, separated from reality, suspended in space where everything could happen. Now, climbing up the hill, we're moving past the blurry threshold to be there again. The book-filled shelves, the records in the player, that fantastic open sauna, and the food. Oh, hell, the food. I get what you mean. You know, after a few days here, any world other than these foggy mountains and black nights, the sea and all this quiet barely feels possible. Yeah, I usually have some music on whatever I do, but the silence here, I keep stopping and listening to the wind, listening into what it's whispering about this land. It's not far now, is it? No, I don't think so, though now that we're off the road, I wouldn't mind for it to keep on going. We walk side by side, Bjorn looking up at me with a smile. Looking up with a smile, me panting quietly. I did not expect him to have better stamina than I do, but here we are. Me trying to keep up with his tempo as he effortlessly walks over loose stones and roots. Hey, can we slow down for a bit? Or have a bit of a rest at least? Sorry, sure. We stop between two large trees where there's less snow on the ground, and I lean on one of them for some quick rest. Since when you're such a mountaineer? Oh, I had a lot of practice as a kid. My parents loved mountains. We often went hiking whenever I visited. And we have some pretty mountains in Poland, rather different than the ones here. Let's see. Where is that? The very central south of the country. An area so pretty that it easily rivals the Alps. Oh, you've seen the Alps? No, only in photos. But I'd like to think that's true. Someday, hopefully, I might start saving up for a trip once I start earning. Ready to continue? Yeah, let's go. The woods fill with the sound of our paw steps again. Quickly, my ears recalibrate to ignore them and listen into the crow's calls in the distance. We're so tiny in this arboreal paradise. Still enchanted with this place. The fjords, the mountains, the barren rocks, it's all very new and very different. I haven't gotten used to it all yet, so it feels like I'm on a trip. And I hope it stays that way for a while more. I quite like it. You're a rat. Not often to travel outside the city. Not lately, at least, and here up north I feel the same. It's incredible, you know? When I look at this landscape and wonder how I got here, it's not where I saw myself as a kid at all. But yet, it's good. Where did you think you'd end up? I didn't think of immigrating at all. I was a kid, though. It's not something kids think about. I thought I'd end up being a teacher like my father or in a design office working on electrical installations like my mum. Both very technical people, and I was so proud of them that my perspectives didn't go further than that. Like my parents, I kind of know how it feels. Their perspective becomes yours. Yes, though breaking off with that simply comes with age. Wait, where do medical studies fit into this then? Oh, I turned out to be terrible at technical stuff. Maths and all that. Not for me, definitely. Well, my grandpa, though now retired, was a radiologist and he was very well off. I think I could be very well off too, bring home some money, help my parents a bit too. My father was laid off around the time I was deciding on my studies and the jobs were brought back to the US. Children shouldn't have to take care of their parents. Not this early. It's not like I have to. I'd just like to help if I could. I think we're there. I look up, and indeed, between the trees shine vague lights that could only belong to the guest house. Sight alone warms up my cold paws, and I quicken my steps. This time Bjorn lagging behind me. Hey, wait for me! Warmth! Familiar scents and images greet us back at the guest house. Hang on. Did I turn my VPN off? I think I turned my VPN off. Yeah, I turned it off. Turned it off a couple hours ago. Familiar scents and images greet us back at the guest house. You got cold? Not terribly. We kept moving the whole time, but it is below 0 outside. I haven't got a bit sweaty during the climb. Still, the cold wind once we reached the meadow was rough. Suddenly, I'm wrapped in a bear hug, face pressed into a fluffy neck. The bear's hoodie is freezing, so instead of melting into the embrace, I tense up, grabbing his sides. But slowly, it warms up. And I do as well. From beneath the scent of pines and ice, his own scent emanates. It puts me at ease. My thumbs circle across the smooth fabric as I feel his width, pulling myself closer. Better? Much better. Thank you. Oh, I need to sit down. I'm more tired than I thought it would be. Bear? We should hurry to the cafeteria. I want to leave my bag and jacket in my room first, though.
Oh, Bjorn, Arvo. Here you are.
Where have you been? We were looking for you! At the town. We only got back now.
Got a cab?
No, we walked. Walked? All the way here? It wasn't terribly far. Besides, it was a very pleasant walk, excluding the short stretch along the main road. You're crazy! You know if there's any food left? We haven't had supper yet. Yeah, but you best hurry up! We've just finished. Almost everyone is left already. Thanks. See you around.
See you too.
Devin. No, Devin. Wait, is his name Devin? Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. The cafeteria is almost empty indeed, and with the darkness outside and the lights half dimmed, it takes on a hushed, vespertine atmosphere. In this quiet, I can even hear the clock ticking on the wall, counting seconds. Once I glance at the table at the entrance to confirm that, indeed, there is some food left for us, it doesn't take long to scan around the room for familiar people. There are just 2 tables still taken. Lake! Godrun. With plates and paws, we approach their table. Their sandwiches are barely touched. Either they're not hungry, which I don't believe at all, or they just got here too. Is there some place for us too? Sure, sit down wherever. It's just the 3 of us here. Bjorn takes a seat next to Jorgen, so I sit down opposite of him. You just got here too? A few minutes ago. We were in the town and just got back. Oh, you too? Oh, yeah, we went for karaoke. I'd invite you if I knew you stayed too. And we could have shared a cab. That would be much cheaper as well. Oh, we walked back. It's nicer that way. The route was stunning. Well, that's the town at night. Oh yeah, that was a beautiful sight. The town was pretty by day, but at night? The town was a pool of light. Its lights twinkled in the vapors, reflected in blurred strokes across a pitch-black sea, surrounding it like a moat. Everything is more magical at night, isn't it? We had the same views, only without the cold. Hey, isn't it crazy cold in Iceland? I should be well used to the temperatures below 0. It is, but not as cold as you could imagine. Gulfstrom warms us up nicely like it does here. And hey, we have cars. A lot of cars, even during cold days. They're so much more preferable than walking around in wind and rain. While Godrun and Bjorn are talking, and Jorgen is busy with writing something in his notebook, munching on a sandwich held in his left paw, Lake is only sulking, finishing the last of his food. Hey, is everything alright? No, not really. But I'll be fine. Boy problems. Boys. Boys. Poor Lake. He looks positively heartbroken. Someone from the camp? Yeah. Torolf. I'd rather not talk about him, though. I'm trying to forget about him for the time being. Of course, sorry. There's a faint but heavy smell of alcohol and hops coming from him. Makes sense with the karaoke and all. He looks like he's holding up rather well, though. how's your evening in the town? Where have you been? Oh, it was so very nice. I took Arva to the tea house with me, and then the walk back was just as nice. Bjorn's leg rubs up against mine under the table as he speaks. I rub back, grabbing my sandwich with seaweed paste and cucumbers, wishing we were in one of our rooms, alone. I think he gets the cue as he grabs a sandwich and starts eating too. The door opens and closes. We're the last one here, us two smiling. Lake sulking, Godrun and Jorgen now chatting with each other. Despite the friendliness between us, it feels like all of us can't wait to leave. All having something to do. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Open maw. I'm on the bed, sitting with my legs crossed. Bjorn is on the floor, rummaging through his backpack, his face focused, but a tiny blip giving him an entirely unserious look. Got it. It's really small and got stuck to my notebook. That's by Henry Hawk, an American book, fairly recent. He hands me the book. Indeed tiny, its cover featuring a portrait of a young mountain lion, a species I've never seen in person. I found it by chance when looking for more contemporary prose. Classics are great, of course, but they're not very recent by definition. I wanted to see what was happening in literature right now. And that's one of the answers. I've seen it being read as an environmentalist piece, but that's just a surface reading of the book. I definitely see it as a more metaphorical queer story. Huh. I didn't know that was your area of interest. That's the forefront of literature, regardless of the themes. But I did enjoy it a lot, and if anything, it gave me a newfound gratitude for being born on this side of the ocean. Here things don't feel apocalyptic, at least. I got a few other short books if you're interested, just not with me. I think this might be enough for a while. I don't read that much, or that often. I feel you, me neither. Wish I had more time for it, but... Studies. Life has to be easier after education. You get 8-hour shifts 5 times a week, and that's the extent of your work. Then you're free to do whatever. Oh, I'm not looking forward to work that much. I quite like the freedom I found now. And I'm lucky enough to be interested in what I'm studying. I don't think I'd take 3 years of this if I didn't enjoy it. Lucky you. Feels like half the people are stuck doing things they don't enjoy. But anyway, you can keep it and return it whenever. I finished it already on the bus from Manslow. Thank you. I doubt I'll have time before the end of camp. Brought one book with me already, and I don't think I'll finish that one either. It would be nice to talk about this book with Bjorn. I might put the other one on hold. That's why I asked him for recommendations anyway. I read nowhere near as much as I used to, but it's nice to have more things to share. And I do want to get to know him better. What better way than getting to know the things he likes? And it's such a cute vision. The two of us lying on a bed together, my head on Bjorn's thigh, the two of us reading in the light of a bedside lamp, with Mandarin Fantasy playing in the background. The kiss lingers on my lips. I want to ask for another, but I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to rush things. I know inevitably the conversation will steer back to the tender and slightly shy gesture we shared in the tea house. That barely helps if I want him here, now. And I didn't hear a yes yet. I can wait, but I will be anxious before I hear the answer. Even if the kiss and his paw on mine said more than words did, gentle and but full of intention. Bjorn's phone buzzes in his pocket. He takes it out and his eyes widen as he sees the screen. My father! Huh, is that bad? I don't know. He sure has read the message, so he knows I'm failing this year. I didn't want to let him down. I know he's disappointed. He hesitates before answering. I feel him. In the same situation, I'd rather receive a message than a call too. Should I leave? Waves at me dismissively, standing up with the phone. Ash, Gautam? Then he walks over to the window and leans against the sill, looking away from me. I haven't heard him this tense yet. Emotional, yes, but now he sounds like words are getting stuck in his throat. I do not know how to pronounce that. And I'm pretty sure I butchered the last one, so, I actually... Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh. Yeah, let's just self-voice it.
Self-voicing enabled. Bjorn, Nai. Chulbim, Ale. Bjorn, no jes siasko, naprati siasko. Mich sprbo waxia rock, lczza rock cos siezmiene.
Yeah, that didn't help. I haven't heard him speaking Polish before. He sounds different than when speaking Norwegian, and the language is so much different too, harsher and rustling. There was no way to tell how much of it is due to his nervousness and how much is the language itself. I'll have to ask him to speak to me in Polish sometime. This feels like seeing a different face of him in a way. It's just a different language, sure, but the difference when he's speaking it, now rapidly like a machine gun, faster than I've heard him speak in Norwegian, is stark. Yeah, self-voicing probably butchered it. And I'd be butchering it, so I'm not going to read it, because I don't want to accidentally offend someone. Suddenly I feel like I shouldn't be here, even if I don't understand a word. That is looking to be a longer conversation, I can already tell. Wave to Bjorn and point at the door. He nods and I leave promptly. The silence in my room is stark and barren. Splayed across my bed, I grab the book I just got from Bjorn and open it on the first page, then close it again to look at the cover. It's pretty, and I like pretty covers. A high-effort cover means that a lot of effort went into the packaging, which often implies that a lot of effort went into the content too, at least in the case of the books. At the very least, the cover is there to communicate something, so its purpose to give a thought to what it tries to convey. This time, though, I trust Bjorn that it's good. It's a pretty face that adorns the cover. I go back to the first page and start reading. I sit and wait. I can hardly focus on the book, no matter how good it is. More time passes than I thought it would when I left Bjorn's room. Maybe I should head back and check on him? Surely knows where I am, though, if he's looking for me. I'm painting the walls with images of us. I'm coming up with stories with the two of us, possible scenarios that might await us. That trip to Goatborg he mentioned. I should look for the connections, check the prices. I don't have savings now, but I could save some money if I plan my budget. Maybe I could treat him to a trip like that. The two of us in a train for, I'm not sure, 5 hours of a ride? Starting early in the morning, relaxing in the hushed carriage in the summer sun that barely hides behind the horizon for a few weeks. The world is in bloom, and so are we. Chatting the morning away, eating the buns we buy at the station before boarding. Everything is bright and green and golden, and when we arrive, the sea twinkles blue between the brick and wooden buildings. We wander through the city the whole day, under the frantic midsummer sun, and the very air around us vibrating with significance. Then we make the way to the seashore, and holding pause, we walk down the beach and finally sit down on the dunes to watch the sun kiss the sparkling vastness. A sea of molten gold. And we kiss again. We kiss and I melt. I melt on the bed in my room in the guest house, the book lying on my face, enveloping me in the smell of paper and dust. I wish it smelled of Bjorn instead. A knock on the door shakes me off from my half-dreaming state. I put the book on the bedside table and go get the door. It's Bjorn, but it's not how I expected to see. He's beaming, grinning wide ear to ear. Done with the call? Sorry it took so long. How did it go? Good, much better than I expected. Can I come in? Sure, of course. Let him in and he crashes on my bed with a sigh of relief. Both my father and mother were understanding and supportive, more than I expected from them. I really was afraid of letting them down. If I did, then I didn't hear it from their voices. I'm hopeful, though. Said they'll think of how they might help, and that I shouldn't worry for now. Talked about how things are out there, apart from the tense political situation, mostly well. Only my grandmother isn't doing well. She moved in with my parents so that they can take care of her. I should plan a visit, but that can wait until the winter break. Things aren't terrible. That's good. And I'm glad to hear you really seemed worried. Well, I was. And this was such relief. It's not the end yet, though. I'm glad they took the news about me dropping out well, which was very unexpected, but I still need to think of what I want to do after that. And I rarely think seriously. I don't know how it'll go. You're joking, right? I am, yes, but I do need to make a decision soon. My father promised me to think of more options for me, too. He sighs, the mood dropping from the high peaks from just half a minute ago. But he did sound hopeful. It's just the weight of the tasks ahead bringing him down. And I know the perfect remedy. What would you say for a sauna? Oh, now that's an idea. I'm really in a mood for some relaxation now. I barely knew I was that tense before I put down the phone. Great, there might not be time tomorrow, and I definitely wanted to use it at least once more. The view there, I think I like it even more than the saunas back home. I say, and then I think. This could be my home. Here, in this country, with him. Not yet. Not right now. But that's up to us. Now I'll go use the bathroom and grab a towel from my room, too. Go ahead, I'll catch up with you. Hesitates a second before leaning in and planting a small kiss on my forehead. Then he walks away without a word. But he's grinning wide, leaving me blushing and my heart fluttering. Has he even noticed the effect he has on me? I wonder, walking the opposite direction, wanting to hide my face in the towel I'm holding in my paws. Then I notice Travis standing at the stairs and my face gets even hotter. Hey, Lug, did you know that Travis doesn't have a route? I'm just kidding. It's Travis! Hawktua. Fucking Hawktua. I will not see the pearly cat. Oh, I already know. I'm going to hell. I already know. Damn it! I knew he didn't have a route, but I keep forgetting that he's straight. Damn it! Okay, but Jupiter's cool as fuck. Lug, you'd actually be doing me a favor sending me to Jupiter, because Jupiter's cool as fuck. But damn it! Because Travis is fucking straight. Ugh! Then I notice Travis standing at the stairs, and my face gets even hotter. Travis! Hello! Arvo! Hey! We're heading to the sauna. Do you want to join us, maybe? No! I already have plans, but thank you! It's much appreciated! I wouldn't want to risk seeing more public displays of affection, too! Not in the sauna, at least! Excuse me? That wasn't me, that was Bjorn! It was Bjorn, and I want it to happen more often. I know! Just messing with you! You guys are pretty cute together! I knew that something was going on since we were playing games together! You had a chemistry like I never had with him, and he was letting you win! He was? Blatantly, yes! No, we haven't done the reworked A New Dawn. Oh shit, we should probably do the reworked A New Dawn. Have fun at the sauna! I'm meeting with friends to watch a series! Hi, Rune. Bye, Rune. Oh. I expected the sauna to be more full, but there's only Rune inside, sitting on the middle bench, sweat pearly on his brow. He smiles when he notices me, wiping his forehead with his paw. Arvo! Hey! Hey, mind if I sit here? I point at the bench next to him, right at the window, the spot with the best view on the mountain range above the forest. Go ahead! I unfold my towel and place it over the 2 levels of benches, sitting down in the upper one and resting my paws on the bench below, taking a drawn-out breath of hot air. The snow-covered mountains shine like teeth in the faint light of the moon. I feel lightheaded, but not out of hunger or heat. I think I'm happy. My fingers curl as I imagine the softness of Bjorn's paw in mine. You seem quite cheerful today. Rune's smooth voice pulls me from my daydream. You're smiling at the window. It's such a pretty view, and such a nice day too. There was a fantastic concert at the Philharmonic today, really mind-blowing stuff. Oh, I know. I was there too. Really? I didn't see you. I wasn't sure if I would go until the last moment. I arrived a bit late and had a seat at the very back, 3rd row from the end. But yes, I was there, and I'm really happy I went. I'm glad. You look much more cheerful now than yesterday too, by the way. I am! The sauna works wonders for unwinding, but the concert helped too. That music had such incredible power and pull. I've never heard anything like it, but foremost, it was so dense and intense that sitting there I couldn't really think about anything at all. My thoughts shut down and instead, my brain started showing me vivid images like I was dreaming while awake. I was, let's say, in a particularly susceptible state, but I wonder what was the mechanism behind that. Was it something in the music that particularly triggered the visual cortex, or was it all dependent on the context? I have to hound Professor Olaf for access to the EEG once we're back. I so can't wait to experiment with this. I do feel different now too somewhat, but my circumstances weren't ordinary either. So my bet would be on the context with this particular piece perhaps being a particularly good stimulus. Oh, hello. Bjorn enters, fur wet and shiny from the shower, towel around his waist and another in his paw, and smiles noticing us. Can I? He points at the narrow spot between me and Rune, and the deer nods, moving aside to make space for him. Bjorn makes himself comfortable next to me, towel staying on, and behind him Rune shoots me a knowing look as if saying, I know why you were grinning like that. Have you been at the concert too? I was just talking about it with Arvo. Yes, I had the pleasure. Now I regret never going to a Philharmonic before. Though I bet most concerts aren't like that. No, nowhere near as radical. But they're still very nice. Sorry I took so long, Arvo, but my parents have called again. Oh, what did they say? They're asking about my financial situation again. I don't want to take any more money from them, though. I'd rather start earning on my own. Oh? Are you planning to study and work at the same time? It's more complicated than that. I'm dropping out. Ah! I see. So you're looking for permanent work? Not permanent, maybe, but just something so that I can support myself without the scholarship and without taking any more money from my parents. I have to find and rent a flat, which is neither cheap nor easy. The best would be to find someone who already has a flat and is looking for a flatmate. There's quite a lot I have to consider, including moving out of the city, somewhere where the housing is more affordable. But then in turn, it's harder to find work. It feels like there are no good options. What kind of work were you thinking of? I could find anything in the field. I think my only option is to go around with my resume and ask for anything. Local stores, maybe a fast food place, something like that. Maybe the music store at Miko Works has a vacancy. I could recommend you. That's the easiest way to get a job. Music isn't my forte. I bet the atmosphere would be cool, but I doubt I'd be a good fit for the job. I'd always work in a cafe. That'd fit me well, I feel. Could become a barista. Hold the fuck up. Hang on. I forgot to turn NSFW content on. And then if I immediately go into preferences, it's still there. Rune snorts loudly, getting up and donning the towel. It's been a pleasure, but I need to go before my brain cooks. I wish you two a nice evening. And Rune leaves, the glass door clicking quietly as it closes behind him, letting in a merciful wave of colder air. Let me check again, make sure it didn't turn itself off, and there we go. Bjorn scoots just a tiny bit closer, looking away from me, as if I wasn't supposed to notice. But his paw finds mine, and that is definitely on purpose. His paw pads run over my furred fingers up to my claws. You're really cute sitting here like that. All wet, keeping the towel on was a good call. I blush. Sauna isn't a place I'm used to hearing stuff like that. I'm not used to being flirted with at all, but especially here, where it is easy to forget I can be perceived at all. Feels transgressive, and in a way that I don't know how to feel about. But in turn, I look at Bjorn too. I look at his chest, wide like a barrel over his fuzzy belly. His thick arms, his softness and sturdiness. And that snout. That handsome snout of his that kissed me today. And the eyes smiling at me, two hazel orbs, and I want to kiss him again. There's softness and vulnerability in his eyes I don't think he'd ever admit. Though his snout spoke horny, his eyes and the paw over mine say something different too. Please, not insomnia, because if someone will enter, I will straight up ignite from embarrassment. We can go to my rooms afterward, and we can snuggle and hold paws all we want there. Sorry, I'll wait. In the meantime, though, I gulp nervous, as it's quite a loaded question. I don't know if I even want to know the answer. Once it appeared in my head, it gripped me and kept gnawing at me. Do I know your ex? Oh, definitely not. So he's not at the camp. Nah, why would you guess so? I thought it might have been Travis. Travis? We're friends, yeah, but I can't say that at all. I like him a lot, but I think we're too different in some areas, and in some too alike. Possibility has never even occurred to me. I see. Not that it changes much, I was just curious. So what went wrong between you two? Oh, it was such a stupid situation, I still feel embarrassed over it. We met at the university library. I was coming there a few times a week, and he was there almost daily. I think it was my third year of studying. I saw him reading Andrzej Sapkowski, and I came over to chat. That was already after the Hexer games became popular, but he was the first person I've seen with the book. Started talking, and afterwards he asked me if I wanted to meet for a beer. I had no idea it was meant to be a date before I arrived at the place, and it turned out to not be a student bar, but a fancy microbrewery. I was wearing a hoodie, and he was waiting for me in a checkered blue dress. I vividly remember my embarrassment, and I saw them standing before the entrance and almost turned around and left. Then the evening went nice. He was a dare my age, and he was pretty. Besides, at that point, in my life, I really needed some company. I was repeating a year and didn't know anyone from my year. Met a few times and cuddled while watching some films at my dorm room, but nothing beyond that. I didn't initiate more, and I think he was too shy to initiate anything too. And he suggested I go with him to an own singing event, as he called it. I could tell it was something important to him, and he waited until we felt comfortable with each other. Have you ever heard of these? I don't think it's anything popular. You likely have to know someone who's already attended to join, but I'm not sure. No, first time I'm hearing about it. I didn't know what to think about it, but concluded that it could be something cool and worth trying. In retrospect, it definitely was. It was held in a yoga studio. A heavy smell of incense permeated the space, and there was no music. We entered the room as I think the last people in the greetings were very hasty. I first felt that something was off when they asked me to write some intentions for which I would sing on a piece of paper and put it in a box in the middle of a circle on the floor. And everyone put bottles of water around it so that it would, in their words, be structured during the ritual. In retrospect, it was my cue to run away, but I felt it would be rude. We first started with a mantra to the spiritual gurus and then formed a circle sitting down on the floor on folded blankets and started to sing. This is sounding less like a cool event and sounding more like a cult. Yeah, this is sounding like a cult. Raj, I'm just reading that. Cuck, cult. It was one of the oddest oral experiences of my life. I think second only to the concert today. I could try to describe the sound, but I know I'd fail. It was like beams of light pointing upwards in between us. It was a tapestry of almost 20 voices, each singing individually in their tempo. It's like an undulating sea in a way. The voices like waves rising and falling. Really spooky stuff. For a moment I thought that I'm taking part in something special and maybe there indeed was something spiritual in all this. But remember, we were all sitting on the hard floor with thin blankets as seats. It took me 3 minutes until my back started hurting. I tried to lean on the wall, but it was too far and I couldn't reach it. I tried to push myself across the floor. Then I got the worst cramp of my life in my calf. Like, I think I saw the pain with my own eyes. My quiet om that I tried to tone to the rest of the voices, which in itself was a fairly impossible task, turned into a tortured groan. I kicked my leg forward and hit some poor cat straight in the chest. He fell back into the center of the circle and kept singing, his face contorted in a reverend stupefaction. Like he was just visited by a deity. People he fell into weren't happy at all and got up quickly to see what the hell was going on. We got the instruction at the beginning to not stop singing whatever we do and not to return to the circle if we leave. So everyone opened their eyes and looked around at the commotion, but everyone kept singing. It was so surreal I still barely believed it was real. I did the only thing I could really do. I got up and left as quietly as I could. Wrote a message saying sorry to him, but in the end I never sent it. The whole thing felt too awkward. I was a bit angry he didn't tell me what it was about, and so I thought it would be better pretend it didn't happen at all. When I saw him in the library next time, he ignored me completely. That's how it ended. It didn't go singingly after all, but then it was my fault mostly. That's one wild story. Kind of jealous, actually. Singing Om in a circle, that sounds so cool. Well, it's cool to think about it in retrospect, and I'm glad I went, but the whole thing was rather miserable. Often the case, sometimes miserable moments make the best stories, and we can even look at them positively. Only, a dress to a brewery on the first date feels like a bold choice. I do like it though. I think we could use more guys in dresses. Well, he's trans-masculine, and I learned it only later from Snipebook when I saw his profile with a new name and new photos like a year later. So I guess he was dressed as he felt was expected of him, or maybe he lacked dresses and still does? I don't know. I don't know if that counts if you don't know. Well, okay, it does a bit, but still. I deflate a bit. That's not what I imagined when Bjorn said he's had a boyfriend. I thought this was tested waters for him. As I said, it's not like I wouldn't try it again. I nod, feeling a bit more confident. No singing Om or structuring water with me, I promise. At best, we can go to a karaoke together. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. We could even do our own. Okay, I'm done. I need to go drink some water before I wrinkle like a prune. He stands up, stretching briefly before heading towards the door. Glass clicks softly as he opens and holds it for me. One last look at the mountains, and I follow him. How is art born? Out of necessity. Art is the artist trying to say something. It has to be intentional, foremost. You think so? What about the art being in the eye of the beholder and all that? Roland Barthes, Death of the Author. There's no ultimate meaning of the text. Rather, every book is eternally rewritten with each rereading. He wrote that in the 60s. Postmodernism was fresh and cold then, and subjectivity was the experience of a new idea. I think it's a mistake to equate the work with a specific reading. Reading is always subjective, of course. The work doesn't have to be. Focusing on the experience, Barthes forgot that all the work exists out there. Tangled up in all of its cultural context, yes, but usually in form of a closed whole. Doesn't do the work any good to forget that it has an author. To view it only through your own cultural context and forget about its own context is to do it a disservice. I have a necessity. Something to express, but nothing to do with it. I have my camera only, and though I try, I can't capture with it what I want to convey. I might just contradict my earlier statements, but the whole of life is art. And every moment is literature. Sound of paper ripping cuts through the quiet like a chainsaw. The page stays on my paw. Read it once again, my eyes wet. What is this life we're given? Where did my friends leave? Why do people leave? Another day, another night, I lie in a pool of black ink. And I can never know what it is that I'm yearning for, other than the warmth of another person. Goodbye. Goodbye to all of these thoughts. I fold the page into a primitive airplane and open the window. Out it flies through the snow with the wind above the trees, and then another. And another! And then a blank page. I take a pen and write. Because these are those that stay. There are those that stay. And there are those who are alive. And there are those we carry in ourselves. And all the effort is worth it in the end. Close your eyes. What do you see? Clouds. The sky. Or is it the galaxy? Rose and blue nebulas, streaks across the canvas. No, it's the ocean. Pink with medusas adorned with manes of white. There's a swimmer cutting across the waves, but now a massive one covers her. She doesn't rise up from the water. But she will be okay. She dives in deep and breathes in. She's one with the water. What do you see? You. I haven't closed my eyes. Oh, I thought it was meant to be something we do simultaneously. I have very good views, even with my eyes open. Saily. His grip on my paw tightens as he smiles. I don't have to close my eyes to feel like I'm floating above the floor. His paw's soft and slightly damp, but then mine is as well. So what difference does it make? I rub my fingers over his pads, studying the texture and printing it in my mind. We're listening together. How are you enjoying it, by the way? Feels different indeed. Changing the perspective changes the perception. It's an unfamiliar context, and in it I pay more attention. I feel more mindful and open. That's how I guess it works, at least. An unfamiliar context, even though we're just lying on the floor listening to music like I used to do with my friends, with Miko and the rest. This too feels unfamiliar with what's between us and what's inside me. Sparks of electricity move between our bodies as our fingers rub against each other, bright and hungry. It feels so intimate too, sharing the music I like. It is, after all, sharing some part of me, and a part that feels important. I would feel rejected if you didn't like it. Did Bjorn feel similarly when recommending books to me? Probably not. Recommending is not the same as experiencing something together. But if I got him to read something to me out loud, I like his voice. Like the way he sometimes rumbles between words when he's thinking. Like how his voice becomes brighter when he's excited. Gosh, I like so many things about him, but his voice I like in particular. I would love the most for him to read me some of his own writing, but something tells me it will take time and pleading before it happens. How comfortable is he with me? He's told me a lot about himself already, but there's also so much that I feel he's guarding. Not before me even, but before everyone. But am I not the same? And it doesn't mean I'm not comfortable with him. I just like to be even closer, on him, in him, to not just be lying on the floor together, constrained by our bodies, but truly meet, mind to mind. To talk without barriers and without timidness, with no judgment or the fear of it, only understanding. But I lay next to him only, quiet, the music, our blanket and mattress, a vine tangling us together. The book he lent me is still on the bed, its spine as if speaking to me. I'll ask Bjorn to read me some of it tonight before we split up. Or maybe he'll stay? Would you like to stay the night? I would very much love to. Now it's my turn to smile. Press myself closer to him so that we're almost snuggled together. We'll see where this goes. The night softens the fabric of reality. At night, improbability is possible and surreal becomes ordinary. My paws are at his sides again, feeling his soft width through the layers of fabric, and it wakes up something inside me. Something primal, something ancient, something vulnerable. And no matter what happens before and what happens after, for these few more minutes as the album lasts, I'm okay and the world doesn't matter. In his paws, I feel seen. He leans in and nuzzles at my forehead, his breath warm over my snout. There's a hint of cocoa and nuts in it from the chocolate he must have snacked on before I came over. The music ends. I stay in his arms. And then I say, I want to go to Goatburg with you. It'd be my pleasure. And the night pulls us into its Dionysian embrace. The wants and the fears come forth, the animal in us taking over. I am completely lost. I have no clue what's happening. I mean, it's pretty, but I have no clue what the fuck's happening. We move to the open window to look at the moon. In the chill air, we feel like a part of the natural world. I turn to him and there's a soft sadness in his eyes, always lurking, but now out in the open, in spite of his warm smile, or maybe they go together, like all complexities of life. If you leave somewhere out of the city, out of the country, I'd be very sad. I would miss you terribly and think of what could have been. But don't feel sorry, it's on me. No, it's not on you. It's on me too, of course. I'm your friend. In my country and primary school, we go through a book that has really stayed with me. Enough that I got my own copy after returning the borrowed one back to the library. It's called Dare Grows Prinz. The author wrote that everything we tame, we become responsible for. It's a metaphor, of course, a metaphor that applies to friendship too. Besides, that wouldn't have to be the end. That'd still be online. Long-distance relationships are a thing, you know. My heart grows as he says that, but the doubts only grow. They aren't easy. What is easy is to grow apart with time. Yes. Yes, I know. Can I kiss you again? Do penguins live in Antarctica? I'm actually not. He leans in before I can reply, and his lips touch mine, silencing me. We're ships at the sea, drifting in all directions. Lost in the ocean, we're looking for any harbor or land. Wind blows, relentless, pulling us apart. The waters are pitch black and furious, a bottomless abyss of uncertainty and nothingness opening below us. There is no safety, and there is no ground. But if we keep together, we'll emerge from the night unharmed. We move to the bed, and as we settle together, I slip his hoodie off before we lie down. His scent is everywhere, and I'm perfectly attuned to it, filtering everything else. I let him fill my senses. I toss the hoodie aside onto one of the chairs, and my paws are all over him, finding their way under his t-shirt to grasp at his fur. I try to hold myself back, but I need him like I need oxygen, and I hold on to him like I'm drowning. Nothing could be enough. We kiss again, and I'm lost in him, a tiger leaping over hills and valleys across the meadow of brown fur. Orvo. Oh, I thought there was more Klaus. Okay. It was just Bjorn. Wait, was it just Bjorn? Yeah, it was, I think. I can't fucking remember. A new dawn tomorrow, I'll ping the developer, probably, and try to figure out what all changed. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.